welcome to this video on my channel. And the international break is over. Many people will be doing their World Cup predictions in November, come closer to the World Cup. But I'm eager to do it sooner. And also, given that I'm going to be going to Qatar, I don't know how much time I would have if I was to be predicting closer to the tournament. Let's get into this, rack up some views. What else? The bigger YouTubers haven't made their predictions yet. And let's do this. Let's get right into the predictions. Let's start off with, well, before we do start off, I will say that despite the games being friendlies and Nations League games, my opinion has shifted a bit, and the amount of contenders I think has gone lower than before. Apart from that, I won't reveal anything more. So, Group A, we got Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, Netherlands. Well, Qatar, I think, could get off to a good start, but it's looking difficult after that, and the games that they've played haven't really helped either. But I'm going to say Netherlands will finish first because I think they're in the best place right now. Good manager, good team. They've done very well in the Nations League. I've got to go Senegal second, current African champions. Qatar third and Ecuador in fourth, even though I think they'll do better against the top two sides than Qatar will. I think it'll probably come down to that first game. So Group B, we've got England, Iran, USA, Wales. It's not looked great for England recently, but they're up against opposition that are weaker than what they had faced back in this month and even in July. I think they're going to get first because I think there's a big enough gap between them and the rest of the teams. And I've got Iran second again because, well, Queiroz is back, so that's going to be boosted. It's so defensively either going to be secure and Taremi and Azmoun up front. I think they're the best strikers out of what the rest of the best of the rest have. And something a bit different, I got Wales third and then USA fourth. I think that first game is going to be a draw, and Wales are going to get an extra point against Iran. USA, they've been having some problems lately. In the first half against Japan, they lost the ball 54 times in defensive areas. And against Saudi Arabia, who are a good team, but they just didn't have that cutting edge against Saudi Arabia. And then also the mentality just doesn't seem right, especially when Greg Berhalter is saying that there was pressure in a empty seater game in a friendly. But on to Group C, there's an obvious one. Argentina going to finish first. And then the other three, I think Saudi Arabia do have a good chance. And if they are to get a low defeat against Argentina, then who knows what that could do if Argentina were to win bigger against these other two teams. But I think Saudi Arabia probably the weakest of three. But who knows? I don't think they'll be bottom by a million miles away. And Mexico, Poland. If this was to be in a friendly, I might say Poland. But I think Mexico generally are just a much better tournament team. Of course, Mexico good at getting out of the group stage, but then not progressing from there. Poland, since Robert Lewandowski's been on the team, Poland have only got out the group stage once. And I think Mexico probably have a bit extra. I think there's been a lot of criticism about the manager. I think Mexico, I would put them second. I think they've got a little bit extra, but it's close. It could go either way. And now Group D. Well, France lost twice against Denmark. I think this game will be a draw, but I'm still going to go Denmark first because we don't know what the dressing room is going to be like for France. And for Denmark, it's just going to be a much higher morale. I think it'll come down to goal difference, and if Denmark are going to need some extra goals to pump up their goal difference, then I think they've got the team to do it on the last day in Australia. I do not think these other two teams will be able to be within sniffing distance of getting through. I think these two are just on another level ahead of them. I'm going to say Tunisia finished third because I think they've got a better chance of winning that game against Australia than Australia do against Tunisia. But yeah, that's my predictions for now. One change like I have in Group B. Group E, well, when this came out, and especially in June, probably wasn't looking very good for Japan. In June, they actually got a bit. They were having some poor results as well. I think, but Spain have been underwhelming. Well, they did get that win against Portugal, but especially against Switzerland, and when you look at a lot of the individuals, it took them a while to get going against Portugal. And Germany, they lost at home to Hungary, which was disappointing. So there is a potential for Japan to get into the next round. I'm not too fussed if they don't, but it would be nice to see them get there. I'm going to go Germany first. I think Spain second. Japan just behind, Costa Rica fourth. I think Germany have more in the attack in terms of how they're going to get goals. And I mean, they haven't got any particular great strikers, but wingers as creative midfielders, they're in pretty good condition on that. I think they just got more than Spain, and Spain, they might end up drawing against Japan, maybe even losing, but I think they'll still have enough to get through. And then Group F, difficult one. I'm going to put Belgium first because I think even if they don't finish first, I do think they're getting through. Croatia are better. In fact, I think that they've got better enough to say this isn't a tight one. I'm going to put them straight in second. I think Morocco have actually made a managerial change for the worse. I mean, they've got Hakim Ziyech back. Maybe that's going to make them more exciting to watch. But they've appointed a manager whose best achievement was winning the CAF Champions League. And I think he would be a downgrade from Halilhodžić. And Ziyech hasn't played a lot for Chelsea, and it's not like Halilhodžić was the only manager he's fallen out with. If Morocco had got a better manager, I'd have definitely put them third, but I think I'm going to go with Canada. Third, fourth, that could go either way, and one of them could even challenge for that second place. And now to Group G, I think one's obvious, Brazil's going to be there. And then these three, I think Cameroon are probably going to be fourth. It did look like a good outside. They had a good outside chance of getting there, but I think they had some poor friendly results, including a loss to South Korea, which isn't too bad, but losing to Uzbekistan, who didn't even make the final round of the Asian qualifiers. I think that's just doesn't look good for Cameroon. And as for these next two, Serbia, Switzerland, you're going to have your preference. Well, I think Switzerland just have a little bit more, so I'm going for them. Just change that around. There we go. So Brazil, Switzerland, Serbia, Cameroon. And now for Group H. I think Portugal will beat Ghana. The other results are going to be very difficult to call. I think Portugal will get first. I'm going to say Uruguay second because I think they've got a bit extra off the other two teams. I feel like for Uruguay, they're either going to draw the first two games needing a win, or they'll beat South Korea and then lose to Portugal. Portugal, I think, could draw against Uruguay and then beat South Korea, or draw against Uruguay, or beat Uruguay and draw South Korea. I think South Korea and Ghana both have potential of getting through, but I'm going to say South Korea will pick up an extra point. But that's going to be a very interesting group, and I am actually going to be going to the Ghana versus Uruguay game, which is going to be great to watch. One of the best out there. South Korea versus Portugal, that's going to be a good game too. Pity they're both on at the same time. And now let's go to the round of 16. Netherlands versus Iran. I think Iran could make this difficult for the Netherlands. Maybe push them to extra time. But I think I still got to go Netherlands. Maybe something like 2-1. France versus Argentina. You know what? If this was Argentina versus Denmark, this would be very close. And I do think this would be very close as well. This could go either way. But I'm going to go Argentina. England versus Senegal. One thing I think will work in England's favour in the group stage is they've got the best schedule. They play the first game in the group stage. And then the USA versus Wales got to play the last group game of the day. And then 3 days later, because that's the space of time each team are going to have in the group stage, they're going to be playing, Wales have got Iran. So Wales have got less conditioning time than, say, Iran, for example. And then England play the USA, who England will have had, 6 hours extra rest. So, and then should there be 2 wins, England, of course, would be able to rest their team. One of the big things England have going in their favour, quality aside, is the conditional bonus. And the only way where a condition could be level is England don't get 6 points from their first 2 games, or I should probably say that or 2. I won't say B because England's in B, Senegal's in A. Is that the only way Senegal could match the other way Senegal could match that condition is if they'd won 2 games and then got a loss against Ecuador so bad that would take them to second. But let's be honest, you'll rely on too many coincidences for that to happen. I think Senegal, they're going to, whether they go into that final game with 4 points, 3 points, 6 points, I think they're going to need a fair number of their better players in playing that final game against Ecuador, because I reckon they'll probably need a point of some kind. If all things even, I would edge towards England, but I think England will go into this with extra rest, and I think that's going to help them be from close to still close but less close. So I got England going through. Denmark versus Mexico. Mexico will fancy their chances, but I think Denmark going through. Germany versus Croatia. I mean, Croatia they'll definitely be more confident facing Germany than before or September. I'm still going to go with Germany. Brazil versus Uruguay. Be an all South American affair. Should be good to watch. We go Brazil. Belgium versus Spain. I'm tempted to put it Belgium, to be honest. They've looked all right recently. I think for all Spain's problems and goal scoring has been an issue, I think they'll have enough to get through, even if it is psychologically that helps them get there. Might just be a 1-0. And then Portugal versus Switzerland. I think this game's going to extra time. Who do I think's going through? I could go Portugal, could go Switzerland. If I go Portugal, then I've clearly just gone with most of the favourites. I think Switzerland are good enough to knock out Portugal. I do. I'm going to go with Switzerland to get into the quarterfinals. And that's where we are going to go. Netherlands versus Argentina. That's going to be a brilliant game. I think Argentina will edge it with a 1-0 win. Then Germany versus Brazil. beforehand, this was one of the toughest games to call because I had these two as contenders. Now that doesn't mean I have both of them as contenders now, but that was just the situation at the time. Germany have got worse, so I think it's safer for me to say Brazil are going to go through this time. And then England versus Denmark. This will be an interesting game. Denmark will want revenge. England probably have the extra quality. And in the Euros, what got them over the line is that they had extra quality to bring on to keep things going. In Denmark, they were losing it once they had to bring off like Damsgaard and some of their better players. They just couldn't replace the quality they had on the pitch. I think England are better at the moment, so I'm going to go with them to go through. Spain versus Switzerland, and Switzerland will fancy their chances. Spain not looking that great. I think I'm going to still go with Spain. So we've got one South American semi-final versus one European semi-final. One side's going to be a popular prediction. The other side will not be, based on what I've got now. I don't imagine people will pick England versus Spain in that other semi-final. But this is going to be a common agreement. Argentina versus Brazil. It's going to be a great game. I'm going to go Brazil. I think for all Argentina's quality, I think Brazil have got extra and perhaps less exploitable positions. And England versus Spain, I think right now England are better. Spain goal scoring has been a concern of theirs. England against Spain's defence would also be very good. The only thing England have to do is not put their foot on the brakes if they're 1-0 up and they're in a midfield battle. I still think England are going through. And now we got Brazil versus England in the final. Some might call me crazy for putting England this far, but you got to go with Brazil. They're just in a much better position right now, and even if England were to have had a good run in the last international break, Brazil's just ahead of them, and that's my team to win it. Brazil, I think it's the only real winner I can really see, seeing as Germany, France, and England have all gone backwards. Argentina, you could say, are also in contention, but I think Brazil are the team to win it, and got 18% of players agreeing. So yeah, this is my team to win. What do you think? What's your predictions, brackets, so on? What do you think of what I've done? And yeah, we're getting very close to Qatar, and yeah. So thanks for watching the video. See you guys in the next video, and so thanks for watching. See you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it, and catch you later.